All right, we're going live again. Okay, so earlier I had just a fantastic explanation of tongue drum and exotic scales you can play using the magnets and things like that. And I didn't realize that my audio interface was turned all the way up. So we're redoing that one. So I'm not expecting a lot of live people in the chat, which is okay. Thank you for anyone who tried to stick through that last one. Obviously, I'm going to delete that. So yeah, we're talking tongue drum. We're talking exotic scales. Last time, here, let me just pull it up right now. Well, in case you're new to this, new to the chat. By the way, I'm doing a ukulele chat at 10 and every 9 o'clock on. By the way, let me slow down for a second. Every Thursday night, 9 o'clock, I'm doing just a sort of a general music, family music, learning with your family stream at 9 o'clock. And 10 o'clock, I'm doing a new sort of ukulele live stream, learn ukulele course. And that should get pretty interesting pretty quick. It seems like we had a lot of friends come out with that. So yeah, thank you to all those friends. But yeah, we're talking tongue drum right now. Enough of the advertising. So yeah, it's a couple things with the tongue drum. Maybe you've seen these, right? Just a fantastic instrument. Basically, just a metal cylinder with individual tongues, sort of grooves carved out. But the interesting thing is you can tune it with magnets. So if you add more mass to the note, all of a sudden there's a 1. And if I want to, I can put a magnet on there, which adds to the mass. And all of a sudden it's down. And then there it is. So with this, you can fine tune your tongue drum, or you can actually get some really, really cool scales. So last time we talked about everything major scale wise, and major scale will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Or we could say solfege, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. But if you wanted to, you could also do something like a minor scale. And don't worry, we'll get to the new ones. Anyone who watched the stream last time, I apologize. All right, so all of a sudden you put a magnet on 3. You put a single magnet. Yeah, let's do this. Magnet on 6. Magnet on your 7s. And then all of a sudden you have a minor scale. So you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Or do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, te, do. If we're talking solfege. And that's what's known as a mode. And what a mode is, basically, if you decide to play, let's say it's a C major scale, or my tongue drum is in D. But if you decide to play one of these scales, you could say 1 is my home. Right? Go to your home. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry. I have that magnet still on. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. And if 1's the point of rest, then, well, it's a major scale. But let's say we have, try to cleanse the tonal palette. I realized I didn't do that last time. And all of a sudden I have a song that would go 2, 3, 4, 3, 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2. Sorry, normally I'm just picking out melodies. It occurs to me now the Halo theme song, I believe, is in Dorian. So right, so you have this Dorian mode, right? So, but the idea is on a mode that I'm not going to change any of these notes. But if I decide 2 is my home, all of a sudden I have a different mode of the same scale, right? I originally had a major scale. I'm then making 2 my home. And so I have a sharing the notes, right? So a mode is shared notes with a different home. And that's what we talked all about last time. And we're going to actually see that we're going to have a different mode today. But yeah, we're talking fun, wacky scales today. Oh, okay. So the first one, I shouldn't say, well, some of them are more wacky. A lot of these are used in film music. A lot of these are really, really, really fun to just goof around with. I mean, I think these are probably some of the most fun scales where if you just had to choose a scale just to be having some fun with. These are definitely them. So we start with the harmonic minor. Now the natural minor was, you're going to put a magnet right on the 3. So all of a sudden we're going to be going down. By the way, there may be a typo. I had to type these up way faster than I wanted to. So if there's a typo, just post it in the chat, and we'll try to make so that there's not some bad information going out there. So we're going to have 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to have a magnet on 6. And normally for natural minor, you're going to have a magnet on 7, except you're not going to have that with harmonic minor, because compared to the natural minor, harmonic minor has a raised 7th. And that would kind of, it's not going to kind of sound like this. It is going to sound like this. Try to tune that up just a bit. So, Yngwie Malmsteen is known for... That's about as clean, too. Oh, can't hit that 6. Right, and that's what you end up sort of, hearing in a lot of heavy metal shred and things like that. Right. So, and this is just a really, really fun one to play around with. And the important thing actually is, aside from the idea of harmonic minor, that raised 7th is often used in when you have something that's just a natural minor. It doesn't have to be that you're in just a mode permanently. But typically with a 5 chord, and if you were watching the ukulele stream, we talked all about the 5 chord. But typically with a 5 chord, you get this, which already has this sort of raised 7th sound, even if it's a minor, and it shouldn't. So here's our, right, 1 chord in minor. All of a sudden you get this 5 chord. So sometimes if you're playing something in minor on a tongue drum, you may want to, assuming your magnets are on the outside, you may want to have your magnets here, move the magnets there, move that magnets here, move the magnets there. You may need to move them back and forth. But that raised 7th is super important with the 5 chord, because it just gives this super awesome pull. All right, let's keep going. I'm tired. Oh, George Vanderbilt is here. Well, hello, George. What's up? Just talking tongue drum. Did you like my George? Did you like my Yngwie Malmsteen impression of the tongue drum? Did that come through as a? I am clearly not very clean with that. But yeah, George, thanks for hopping in the stream. Wow, I can't. Now, George, I don't know if this is actually coming across as being some impressive. I'm literally just attempting to go as fast as I can and very uncleanly. So I assume that wow is in jest, but yeah, I appreciate it. So we've got sorry, the harmonic minor apparently makes me laugh. So that harmonic minor is super important. That raised 7th on the 5 chord, is just awesome. So you may need to switch it in and out. It sounds magical. You know what, George? I apologize if I didn't believe in your original faith in my shred tongue drumming. Okay, so we're gonna keep moving on, because I know now George knows all the scales, because Guitar George knows all the chords, and he also knows all the scale. So we're going to go to something called the Phrygian Dominant. This is another one that is just an absolute blast to play. So Phrygian Dominant, if you remember last time, we were talking about the Phrygian scale, which is basically a root, a flat 2, a flat 3. Man, these magnets are strong. Oh, by the way, just a safety warning. Do not leave the magnets around children, and don't leave them on the drum. Children will put them in their mouth, and they will absolutely have to go to the hospital. That is your safety warning for the day. So, right, we would have our flat 2. We would have our flat 3, 4, flats 6, and 7. Might as well get all of these guys. Right, so that would be a regular Phrygian. So let's see what you would end up having this sound. No, that's that's out of tune. That's 6. Sorry, it's always 7. The 7 one's always the toughest one to tune because it's just I can't get it right in. Right, so that would be the Phrygian. There's something called the Phrygian Dominant, which is even more awesome. Well, they're all equally awesome. But what you end up getting with the Phrygian Dominant is it's got this flat 2 raised third. Raised third in comparison with the regular Phrygian, and you get this sound. Right, so I think Offspring's keep them separated. There's that 7. Yeah, dun, 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 dun. Very popular scale, sort of in Arabic music, and especially with like any film music that's trying to get sort of an Arabic sound. And yeah, that'd be Phrygian Dominant. Gates of Babylon by Rainbow. Oh, technically not that one. Almost Phrygian Dominant. But don't worry, we'll get there. Now, the interesting thing about Phrygian Dominant, remember how we talked about mode is when things share the same notes, but you're kind of starting in a different position. The Phrygian Dominant is actually a mode of the harmonic minor. So, right, if the major scale can have a mode and many modes, the harmonic minor can have many modes. Moving on. To make some magic here. So we have the double harmonic minor, which is kind of what it sounds like. It's harmonic minor, and it does kind of like this, augmented second thing. But it does it twice. So for this, it's like the harmonic. Sorry, let me make sure I have this. It's like the harmonic minor, where it has the raised 7th, but it also has a flat 2. So we're going to remove the magnets off of 7. So what you would end up having is you'd have 1, you'd have flat 2, you'd have 3, natural 3, 4, 5, flat 6. 6s are still flat. 7s are raised, and you would end up getting this sound. So I think when I said the Gates of Babylon by Rainbow, I think it's Rainbow, right? Ronnie James Dio singing a song. I can take. Anyway, so totally this ukulele. I'm always super on topic. This instrument, on the other hand, this brings out. You know what it is? This instrument brings out a ton of creativity, and I think that's why I enjoy it. Just hear something. Oh, SWE drums. Thanks for joining in. Right, it's a cool sounding instrument. Yeah, there's something about this instrument that you get different tones, timbres, microtones. It's super both relaxing. But yeah, so that's what the double harmonic minor. And again, if we're talking solfege, right? So you'd have do. A lowered re would become ra. So do, ra, mi, fa, sol. And then le, ti, do, ti, le, so, fa, mi, ra, do. Always definitely a really this again, it's a fun scale to just mess around with. Let's see, we've got some heavy theory warning coming up here. I did not want this chat to run too long, but it's sometimes that's the name of the game. So we have the whole tone scale, which I call the Saved by the Bell dream sequence. Now, I don't know if this was actually used in Saved by the Bell, but if you've ever seen a 90s sitcom where someone's having a dream and someone says, I wonder what things will be like when we're 70 years old, or, oh, I wonder what high school was like for Mr. Belding, that's going to be this scale. So we're gonna talk about that. And that is the best way to describe it. It's used constantly in film music. It's used often in French impressionistic music, things like Debussy. It's just very dreamy. And I don't know, just chicken or the egg. Was it dreamy first? Or do I just watch like movies that end up using it, so I associate it with being dreamy? I don't know. You tell me. You tell me in the comment. So for this, we have basically it starts with a major scale. It's called a whole tone scale because it's basically just a bunch of whole steps put together. You're also going to notice there's a big X right on 4. That's because you're not going to end up using it. And the other thing is just I'm going to often be using tongue drum speak. So if I say it has a flat 5, it is a flat 5, but you could also think about it as a sharp 4. But we know on the tongue drum that we can't raise the note with the magnet. We can only lower it. It's a whole thing. So just realize that this is not the best instrument. It's an awesome instrument to play it on. It's not the best instrument to kind of learn it theoretically on. But anyway, so you'd have 1, 2, 3. So right, just like a major scale, do, re, mi. 4 is not going to be used. Then 5 is going to have a magnet on it, lowering that because that's going to give us a. Right, we have our whole step there. Magnet on the 6. Magnet on the 7. Let's see. So magnets on the 6. Let me try to get enough on here. So we have the 1, we have the 2, we have the 3. We don't use the 4. We have 5. Then we have 6. Oop, always sharp. Again, if you're into microtones, these magnets are totally. So again, oh man, I wonder what Mr. Belding was like as a hippie. Again, I just keep using Saved by the Bell. Pretty sure there's some significant use of it in some Metroid music. If you're familiar with Metroid, we've got some people in here. Well, thank you for joining me. It's interesting. I'm having way more people in the chat at 10 o'clock than at 9 o'clock. I may just move the chat to 10. We're having a lot more success. So yeah, thanks for popping in. All right. So that's the whole tone scale. It's a bunch of whole notes, and because it's a bunch of whole notes, right? There's no half steps. Yeah, you end up having it where you're just gonna not have all the notes. Any questions? Feel free to ask. But we only got one more scale, and then we're gonna end it for tonight, as far as the fancy tongue drum speak. And that's going to be the blues scale. This was a scale I had zero expectation of being able to play when I realized you could change the notes with magnets. And because you can't play every single scale on this instrument, and the reason being is a chromatic scale, right, which would be all the white keys and black keys on the piano. You just don't have enough. I mean, you can move the magnets and play every single scale. But the blues scale was one of these ones where I didn't think you were going to be able to play it because it ends up having this part where it goes root, minor third, perfect fourth. Then it has a chromatic tone in between the next note. So it goes basically 4, sharp 4, or flat 5. 4, sharp 4, 5, or if you want to think solfege, fa, fi, so. And I didn't think you were going to be able to get that. However, by using 2 magnets, you can. It's actually quite impressive. For this, you can see we're not going to have be using the 2 to play the blues scale. So we're going to have 1, 3, 4 is going to stay the same. 5 is going to have a magnet. Then you're going to need to double up. As I almost knocked the stand over. You're going to need to double up the 6th tongue. Now, let me try to explain this because we got the heavy theory warning. The 6th tongue is going to end up becoming the 5th scale degree. So what you do is you put 2 magnets on it, or you may need more magnets. It depends on your drum. And that's going to basically lower it all the way down to so, or the 5, right? So, oh man, butterfingers. All right. So we end up getting this. So do, mi, fa. Try to tune that up. Oh, it's always so. Let's see. Really try to. It's always such a fine line between. Let's see. Try to tune up this 6 with a double magnet. Pretty close. And all of a sudden, we have a blues scale. Try to. can't quite do Batman on this. So we have Lazy by Deep Purple. Before I was playing Iron Man. But you can see that there's a lot of versatility in the drums. If there's any last quick questions, feel free to ask them. But yeah, thanks for checking out the second chat again. The audio was messing up. So now we have 2 weekly live streams, all on Thursday. We have 9 p.m. Typically, we're going to be talking about just sort of regular music topics, making music with the family. And then 10 o'clock, I'm doing a live ukulele stream, and that's going to be like a whole course, But yeah, so all right, going once, going twice. All right, seemed pretty good. All right, everyone, have a good night, and I'm going to definitely get some sleep, and yeah, have a good one.